Hi, I'm Kelly from Manifesting Positive Parenting. I'm a trained Montessori teacher and a parent, and now I'm here to support parents on their parenting journey. Is there anyone out there who's never made a mistake? As humans, it's a pretty good bet that we all have. Let's face it, we screw up. Every day in so many ways, we are making mistakes. And that's okay. As parents, we do our best to be good examples, but let's face it, we don't always get it right. And you know what? That's also part of being human. Part of setting a great example for our children is showing them that we are fallible, that we do mess up. And sometimes we mess up a lot. So today's video is all about how we act and react to our own mistakes when it comes to parenting. We can dive into dealing with the mistakes our children make in a later video. Stick with me. I hope to give you some new perspectives that not only teach you something, but also teach those young humans who are living in your house. Let's get to it. If things look different, I lost a clip and I'm refilming it later on. So our very first, most important place to start is admitting that you made a mistake or that you were wrong. When you acknowledge your mistake, you're not just showing humility, you're teaching your child that it's okay to make mistakes. That's like the biggest part of the lesson for them. And we have to keep in mind generational differences. Let's be real. Many of us grew up in households where parents were the law of the land, or at least my generation did. They didn't make mistakes often, and apologies from adults to children, very rare. But times are changing, and that's an amazing thing. Use simple, clear language. I didn't handle that well. I didn't think before I said or did that. This normalizes the act of admitting mistakes, and it encourages your child to be honest about their own mistakes. Let's go to number 2. Apologizing and asking for forgiveness when it's appropriate. Sometimes an apology to your child is the next step, but not always. When apologies are appropriate may depend on the situation. If your mistake directly affects them, like snapping at them when you're tired, then it's a great opportunity to model genuine regret. Use an apology as a teaching moment. When to skip it? If your mistake was minor and it didn't impact them or they didn't even notice, then you can acknowledge it internally and move on. Now, if you are apologizing, turn it into a conversation. Use I statements. I love I statements. I promise I will do a whole video on how to use I statements with your family in the future. So you could say to your child, I felt frustrated and I raised my voice. I'm sorry for doing that. How did it make you feel? This opens up the dialogue about emotions, and it encourages your child to express their own emotions. Number 3 is an important one. It's remembering your role as the adult. Here's the thing. You are the adult in the room. It's your job to model not just how to apologize, but how to accept an apology gracefully. I love joking around. Lighthearted moments can diffuse tension. For example, you could ask your child after you make a big oops, should I go sit in timeout now? Now, only do this if your relationship with your child is playful and they know you're joking around. I know not everyone uses timeouts, so it's just an example. But make a joke. Don't make a joke of your mistake, but how big of a mistake is it? That's what you can joke around with. You can start building a framework. Like I also tell the kids when I teach, is it a big deal or not a big deal? Like small mistakes, not a big deal. If you do something major, if you break something major or someone gets hurt, that's a big deal and it involves deeper thought. So you can start to lay things out on the scalability of big deal or not a big deal. And that also adds humor to the situation, letting them know it's important, but also not to be super emotionally distressed if a mistake is made. But this is also really important. You've got to remember that the parent-child dynamic needs to stay clear. Your child doesn't get to decide your consequences. You are teaching them accountability. You're not reversing roles. They have many more years that they need to learn from your leadership and guidance. Now, let's think about, that's why I teach language and I was an English major. I can't even count to 4. Now let's involve your child in making the situation right. This is one of my favorite tips. Ask your child how you can make things better. This is all about empathy and problem solving. Involving your child helps them to develop these skills while reinforcing that mistakes aren't the end of the world. They are chances to find solutions. For example, if you've spilled something, say, I made a mess. Want to help me clean it up? Or, what could I have done differently? That gets them into the conversation and they can help find solutions. Not only does this teach teamwork, but it also builds a connection and a sense of responsibility. They might even shock you with a very insightful answer that you had not thought of. Number 5, enlist their help for future memory lapses. If you've forgotten something important, like a school project or a snack, you can turn it into a collaborative effort. Ask your child to help you remember. Hey, can you help me remember next time to check the calendar the night before? Or when the information comes home from school, have them help you put it on the calendar right then and there. And then they can help you keep track of it. This reinforces teamwork. Isn't just for chores. It's a life skill. And it models building this of a support network too. For number 6, these might be backwards on the video. I can't promise either way. Hug it out. Never underestimate the power of a hug. After everything's been said and done, a hug is a wonderful way to close the loop and reconnect. If your kiddo isn't a hugger, not a hunger, they probably have hunger. If your kiddo's not a hugger, or you aren't, substitute something that makes you comfortable, like a high five, a fist bump, or another caring action that you two share. Don't forget to thank them at the end. You can say, thank you for understanding, or thank you for forgiving me. That means a lot to me. Gratitude strengthens bonds and shows them how much you value their patience and love. I've made a habit in my classroom life and at home with my children. When I make a mistake, I get down to their level. I look in their eyes, and after we've talked about it, I ask them to forgive me. And they do. They forgive me. It helps them to feel better with the situation. It also helps us as the adults to feel better that our screw-ups were not so royal that the world is going to end, because that's not something you want to model to them, is it? I don't think so. If you've been around for any of my other videos, you know I like to include some positive affirmations or manifestation phrases to help you start internalizing some of these concepts. So let's think about the first one. This one is one of my favorite sayings of all time. Mistakes are how we learn. Mistakes are how we learn. This is a reminder that mistakes are not failures. They're stepping stones for growth. My students only had to hear the first word before a chorus of voices finished the statement. It always filled my heart with joy, and I still share it to this day with my online students. The second affirmation phrase is, I am doing my best, and that's enough. I am doing my best, and that's enough. It's a simple but powerful phrase to help you release guilt and to focus on the love that you bring to parenting every single day. Now, as we close things up, what do you think? Could this approach lead to future videos about perfectionism in parents or in kids? Or maybe we could dive deeper into the mantra, mistakes are how we learn. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video helped you or gave you a fresh perspective, please give it a like and a comment. Share it with someone who might need to hear it. For more insights, check out this video next. And please know that I am here for you.